I'm Melissa. This is Martin, Haley, and Maddie, and we're cruising America's Great Loop on our boat Cavalier. We welcome you to hop aboard and share in this journey with us.
Welcome back to the Cavalier for another episode of Cruising Cavaliers. Cheers, baby.
Cheers.
Okay, so we left off. We were headed to Waterford, and that's where we ended up. So we went through Troy Lock and ended up in Waterford. And Waterford is the start of the Erie Canal. So you from there you start heading up the locks, but it's basically it's a tie-up spot right before the first lock, and there's a visitor center, and it was kind of neat because we had like 12 boats there with us.
Yeah, there was a lot. Some were there before we got there, and then we got there, and then
a bunch of people kept coming in.
Yeah,
so,
it was pretty full.
Yeah, mostly loopers too. So,
yeah. And
we probably would have had some nice docktails, but it was just too blazing hot.
Yeah.
So we went up and we walked into the little town there, and there wasn't much there, and what was there was closed.
Yeah, there was a few stores and things and restaurants, but it seemed like, I don't know if it was the day we were there, but everything was closed.
Yeah, everything was closed. So so we went back to the boat, and that was okay. So we just stayed the night, and then got up in the morning, and we were going to do start the Erie Canal. And the way it works is the first 5 locks you have to do in sequence. It's like one right after another, 1/10 of a mile or so in between. And each one lifts you up about 33 to 35 feet, and you go right through them. And the way the locks work is these locks, you pull in, and they have pipes that run the length of it, or ropes hanging down. And depending on what you're tying up to, you can either if it's a pipe's the best way, because then you wrap a
they're cables, but yeah.
Or cables, sorry, they're not pipes or cables. So you wrap your but it's tied at both ends, so it's tight. So you wrap your rope around the cable, and you don't cleat it off, you just hold it there and let it slip on up. If it's a rope, and then you have to grab the rope, and you can put it through a cleat and have it go 1 or 2 ears through the cleat and kind of hold it to the boat, and then let it slip as it comes up. So it's kind of, and we ended up doing both.
It all depends on how your boat fits. So what we were doing is Martin was pulling me up to the first cable, and I would be on the front. We don't have a mid cleat, but we have kind of one that's in the front. It's a spring line cleat. We don't do the bow, but we do the one in the front, and I'll wrap it around the cable, and I completely cleat it off then, and then I run to the back. And the first one we did, we were lined up right with another cable, so I just took another line and did the same thing. And then when everybody gets in and we're ready to go, then we uncleat it, and we just have it around 2 horns. So everybody does it different. Some people just hold on to the lines. That would scare me personally, but
I don't think you want to do that. I think you always want to have some mechanical advantage.
Because then you have a little more control over it, and it works out good. But then we went to the second one thinking, hey, we know how to do this. And we had the boat lined up, and there was no cable in the back. So, but there was a line coming down. So I grabbed it, and then I just did the same thing, and then I had to tend to that the whole time. And then
yeah, and it kind of gets a little gets a little squirrely at first because the water we're going up and the water comes in from like below and starts kind of spooling around. So your boat tends to move around a lot at first.
it was I wouldn't say it was hard, but it was a little scarier than I like to do because I was having a hard time pulling. I mean, it's a heavy boat even if it's on the water.
Yeah.
Pulling it over to the wall. And only in the beginning, but then once you got up, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Because you think about it, you got this rope hanging down like this, so even if you have it tight, your boat still can wander off because because of the angle. There isn't. It's really difficult to try to hold your boat against the wall. But like I said, after you start getting up a little bit, then it gets a lot easier.
So then another one that we got is we get in there, we do the same thing, and then in the back, the lines are coming down, but they're not long enough because I'm on the swim platform. They're not long enough to tie onto any cleat. Yeah. So you really did have to just hold on to it. So that's where Martin and I just switched. Yeah. Because he's a lot stronger than I am. So then we started just doing it that way. I just did the front. Yeah. I got the front ready and then I got the back rope on me. Yeah. And then we switched and he tended to the line and I did the front. The front's easy because you just make sure the thing doesn't get hung up on something and you're good to go. So
that's how we do locks. Pretty much, and we had to do 5 straight. It was a little tiring, especially because it was so darn hot.
It was blazing hot.
God, it was blazing hot.
We were sweating, and it was like running around, and but it really isn't.
Yeah, and you don't have to. You can't stop. You're not allowed to stop in the middle. And also, we were going through with 4 other boats, so there was 5 boats in each lock with us, which is another interesting thing, getting all in there and. Yeah, you're having to go pretty tight maneuvering, right next to the boats.
These particular locks are not super wide. Yeah. So, and we had some big boats. Yeah. We're pretty wide ourselves.
We had to fit 2 wide, one on each wall, and it's with the bigger boats, like a wide boat like ours, there isn't much room between you and the next boat over.
But we made it.
Yep, we made it.
It wasn't too bad. It was just hot.
Yeah, and then we got through those 5, and we cruised up the river, and the Mohawk River, and it's really just a gentle cruise up. It's really, really nice. We ended up going through one more lock, lock 7. So, and then after lock 7, another 10 miles or so, we came into Schenectady, and that's where we're tied up now. We're into Mohawk Harbor, and there's some restaurants around here, and a couple of hotels. There's actually a little hotel casino within walking distance, and some other stuff. So it's a good place just to relax and get caught up again. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Yep.
All right. Well, again, thanks for coming along for another episode of Cruising Cavaliers. Cheers and happy trails.
Whole bunch of loopers here waiting to go through the E2 lock. We're just gonna wait this one out and go into the next one. Okay, well, welcome back to the Bridge of the Cavalier. We are on the Erie Canal, and we're cruising westbound. And this morning we were in Waterford, which is basically the start of the Erie Canal.
and you do locks. You do what they call the flight of fives. So there was a whole bunch of boats at Waterford this morning, about 12 boats or something, and so 7 boats went through the first flight. They went through the 8 o'clock, and we have a place we're going, so we waited till about 9 o'clock to go through, and so that was good. We got in the first lock around 9 o'clock. And then pretty much...
a few more boats came.
Yeah, we were
further away, but they came in. And so
yeah.
it was pretty full.
We had 5 boats in with us, or 5 total. And it was nice. We're cruising along. We got about another hour, another half hour to go to get to the next lock, which will be the last lock for the day. And then, then after that, we got about another hour cruise up to where we're staying. So anyhow, it's a beautiful day.
Gorgeous.
A little warm, a little hot. Definitely
It's
hot.
getting cooler as we go up, but
yeah, this is not
pretty,
bad.
I'm
So.
looking pretty haggard, and you probably can't tell that my jeans are covered in mud.
Yeah, the ropes are pretty nasty.
They're pretty nasty.
So anyhow, we'll check in later, and thanks for coming along.